All right, in this video, we're going to start talking about using law of cosines to solve some word problems. So up at the top of the note sheet is one of the versions of law of cosines. It's pretty much the one that you will see most often if you look it up. Yes, you can rearrange the A, B, and C values. It's not really going to matter per se for these particular problems, and you'll see when I start setting them up. For all of these problems, you will be asked to annotate them, draw a picture, write an equation, solve the equation. So make sure you can do all those pieces. First things first, let's annotate. Two ships leave from the same port at the same time on a course 32 degrees apart at speeds of 15 and 18 miles per hour. How far apart are the ships after 2 hours? Your picture does not have to be phenomenal, but it does need to be relatively accurate. Okay, so let's say this is port, one ship is heading this direction. Now, it says one ship is traveling 15 miles per hour and the other is traveling 18 miles per hour. It's been 2 hours. So one ship, if we take 15 miles per hour times 2 hours, has covered 30 miles. And they left the same port, same time on a course. This angle here is 32 degrees apart. Okay. And the other ship was traveling 18 miles per hour. 18 times 2 is 36. So that other ship has now covered 36 miles. How far apart are the two ships? So here's what we're looking for. I want to know that X value. All right, so because that's what I'm trying to figure out, I know I have a law of cosines problem here because I've got a side, included angle, side, and that's the piece I'm looking for. All right, so to set this up, here is my side opposite its angle. So this is where I'm going to start. This is where I'm going to end. Everything in the middle is going to be using the 30 and the 36. So x squared is equal to, pick one of the other two sides. It doesn't matter which comes first in the order because it's addition. And when you do 2 times a times b, or side times side, because it's multiplication, the order won't matter. Cosine 32. Now, one thing I am noticing as I am grading your, or taking a look at some of your work, please, I beg you, please make sure that for this question, you are in degree mode. Okay. All right. So my calculator tells me that this whole entire right side of the problem is 364.21 and some other stuff. I'm not going to worry about what that other stuff is. I'm going to take a square root in the calculator. So x is equal to the square root of that answer. I don't believe it says specifically to round, so go ahead and give me 2 decimal places, please. So 19.08, and the units here would be miles. So the two ships are just over 19 miles apart after 2 hours, and they will continue to get further apart if they continue on that same 32-degree course. All right. So let's slide on down to problem number 2 here. 2 airplanes leave an airport at the same time. One flying a straight course at 400 miles per hour. The other on a straight course at 480 miles per hour. If they are 1,400 miles apart after 3 hours, what is the measure of the angle between their flight paths? So this is very much like the first problem. The difference is I'm giving you in problem number 2 the distance apart. We've got to figure out the angle. So we have an airport here. One plane takes off, flies in one direction. One plane takes off and flies another direction. I don't know what the angle is. I'll figure that out in a little bit. And I do know that they are 1,400 miles apart after 3 hours. So if it has been 3 hours at 400 miles per hour, That is a distance of 1,200 miles. 3 hours at 480 miles per hour is 1440. And we are finding the measure of the angle between their flight paths. So I am looking for this angle right here. So this is going to be my x value. So how am I going to set this up? Well, here's my side opposite my angle. So I'm going to start with 1,400 squared. Set that equal to 1,200 squared plus 1,440 squared minus 2 times 1,200 times 1,440, and then cosine of x. Now remember, when we have this problem where we're trying to solve for x, be very careful solving it. You need to subtract these two pieces and you multiply these, and the last part's going to be doing some division. So let's go ahead and subtract 1,200 squared and 1,440 squared. So let's see. Do that. So 1,400 squared minus 1,200 squared minus 1,440 squared. That is a very large number. So negative 1553600. And I'm also going to multiply out negative 2 times 1,440 times 1,200. Order on multiplication won't matter. So negative 3456000 cosine of x. Large numbers, and that's okay. All right, divide both sides by that negative 3456000, and we're going to get the cosine of x is equal to, so let's see, I want that answer divided by that answer. So 0.4495 and some more stuff, okay? To get x completely by itself, remember we're going to take the inverse cosine of both sides. So the inverse cosine of 0.4495. And remember, that's in my calculator, so I'm not too worried about like what these decimals are. I just put a little dot, dot, dot to remind you and myself that there's this number sitting in my calculator. So the inverse cosine of this answer is 63 no rounding direction, so we're going to go ahead and round 2 decimal places. 63.29 degrees is the angle between their 2 flight paths. All right, I'm going to keep these relatively short. I believe there are 10 questions on this worksheet, so I'm going to keep, I'll do two problems per video, and you guys can kind of pick and choose which ones make sense. If you've got any questions or concerns, please let me know.